participants, ladies and gentlemen, and viewers at home. Welcome to the final round of the MAI Bangkok Business Challenge 2003 at Sasin, the only global new venture plan competition in Asia. My name is Kongpan Pramod Nayutya, and I'll be your moderator for the competition today. So just a brief background on the competition this year. We had 63 teams that entered and submitted their summary business plans from 20 countries, 5 continents, and a panel of judges selected 16 teams from these 63 to come to Bangkok this weekend and to present their ventures to a committee of judges. So these judges will be putting on their investor's hat. Our judges are scoring teams based on their ventures' business viability. The teams will be competing for the prize worth over 113,000 US dollars. So the winner, we only have one winner for the competition, will walk away with His Majesty the King's award. There will be 6 finalists today, and in order of their presentations, the first team will be Latis Energy Queensland University of Technology from Australia. Second will be Hope Care, AESC Business School of Portugal. Third, Adamo from National University of Singapore. Fourth, Munching Box, Thammasat University, Thailand. Fifth, Ajares, Sasin Graduate Institute of Business Administration of Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. And last, number 6, Medical Informatics Corporation, Rice University, United States of America. So each team will have 30 minutes to make their presentations, during which the judges may ask questions at any time after 5 full minutes have passed. The team will receive 3-time notifications, one after 5 minutes to allow for the interactive session, and then 3 minutes and 1 minute before the end. Please keep your eyes on the timing ladies at the front here. Okay. And due to the interactive nature of the presentations, teams that have not made their presentations are not allowed to be present in the room. And for our guests, please show your consideration by turning off all your mobile devices, and please refrain from leaving the room during the session. Of course, the MAI Bangkok Business Challenge at Sasin 2013 would not be possible if it wasn't for the generous sponsorship from the Stock Exchange of Thailand, Kiat Nakin Bank, Tesco Lotus, and of course, Money Channel. So before we begin, let me introduce our honorable judges today. I'll introduce them from my left to my right. First of all, please let me introduce Mr. Arunagiri Manikam, Vice President, OET and Lean Asia Metal Shared Service, Penang, Malaysia. And to his left, Mr. Jim Napier, Executive Chairman and Consultant, the Kingdom Brewery Cambodia Limited. To his left, Ms. Gopkan Watanarangkoon, Chairperson, Toshiba Thailand Company Limited. Mr. Andrew Stoltz, CFA, Portfolio Strategist and Managing Director, International Business, Maybank Kim Eng Securities, Thailand. Last but not least, Ms. Pecharat Eksankun, Managing Director, Eason Paint Public Company Limited. So, the teams, you ready? Okay. So, without further ado, please give a warm welcome to our first team, Team Latis Energy from Queensland University of Technology, Australia. Okay, so when you're ready, we'll start the clock as soon as you start.
No worries.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity today to share with you this exciting business investment opportunity. My name is Daniel Marcus, and I'm the CEO of Latis Energy. Mines globally have a huge demand for power and water. The supply of power is expensive and often comes from non-renewable sources. Water is a precious resource which we capture and store in large dams in the hope that it does not evaporate before the next rains come, else it forces mines to stop production. Our solution to address these two issues of power and water is the installation of massive floating solar farms on the raw water dams of mines. We're here today seeking an equity partner. For $2 million, we're offering 15% equity in our business and a seat on our board. Power and water. The large mining machinery that you see at the top of the screen run on electricity, and they use an awful lot of electricity. In fact, in mining, it's generally the case that 25% of the cost of production is energy. Mining is in a downturn. Globally, mines have closed, all mines have cut back, there have been many redundancies. Any opportunity to save money in the present environment is welcomed. Water. Australia has many mines, and in recent times we suffered a 5-year drought. At the end of this drought, some mines ran out of water and they had to stop production. Highly profitable businesses had everything they needed to continue except water, and they had to stop production. Our solution to this problem, as I said earlier, is massive floating solar farms situated on the raw water dams of mines. Our simple design is robust and modular, and it's covered by a thicket of IP protection. We supply these at no capital cost to the customer, but lock in 10-year power supply contracts. I would now like to pass over to our Chief Marketing Officer, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Daniel. So our solution will be provided to our customer in a service-based arrangement. Latis Energy will purchase, construct and maintain the solar arrays on the raw water dams of our clients. We will then generate our revenue through charging these customers on the power that they use. The client value proposition is threefold. They're able to reduce their power costs because of the discounted rate of 10% on their current contracts that we offer. They get to lower their evaporation of raw water by 80%, which equates to around $500,000 a year in savings. They improve their carbon footprint through the reduction of emissions of CO2 of around 20,000 tonnes per annum. The market opportunity is huge. There is 40,000 megawatts installed globally in support of mining operations. We believe there's currently around 2,000 megawatts of this that's suitable for renewable energy. Using our first mover advantage, Latis Energy targets the capture of 5% of this market in the first 5 years of operation, and that's around 100 megawatts. Our point of entry into this market will be through our very strong relationships in our Queensland coal sector, where we've been in negotiations and have signed a number of contracts with international mining houses. So the concentrated ownership of international mining means that our access and embedding our product and service into their systems will allow us rapid expansion through other areas of Australia and throughout the globe. Now, there are many competitors in the international renewable market, but our research has indicated that our offering is unique. I'd like to demonstrate this uniqueness by pointing out a couple of points on the above comparison. First of all, the patented design that Daniel introduced is mine design, tough, flexible. Our team has the relationships required to do business in the Australian mining industry. And lastly, the business model. We know mining, and we know that our mining customers do not want to be distracted from their core business, which is digging and transporting ore. Our service-orientated business provides the value proposition that I spoke about before to the miners without any operational risk or capital outlay. I'd now like to hand over to Lona to talk to you about our sustainability.
Thanks, Ben. So at Latis, our core values are underpinned by sustainability, which has 3 dimensions: economic, environmental, and social. In the economic space, we contribute to water retention mechanisms of the mine site. There are no upfront capital costs for the mine, and we look after the maintenance. So what we have is a truly viable and affordable solution for the mine. Yes, please.
Yes, it's a very beautiful concept. But from my experience in solar farm in Thailand, the efficiency of the electricity produced from solar is the key. And so therefore my question is that how can you convince me? Because solar farm on land is already difficult to create the maximum efficiency. But in the movement of water, how can you produce that? And also the panel, where do you get them? Do they give you the 10-year warranty as well as you give to your customers?
The large raw water dams at mine are typically surrounded by spore poles. When we dig, we make poles, so they're fairly protected from wind. Their size, they are typically individual dams, and to minimise evaporation, as they go low, we pump them into less and less ones. So that avoids them being great big ones that gets waves. We have some of these installed. We're getting 1,100 watt hours per panel per day. They come out of China, the supply.
Sorry. Your revenue comes from the sale of 10% of the electricity demand, so you get 17 cents per kilowatt hour. I noticed in your written earlier submission that you said it's a recommended 10%. Now, is it 10%? Because it could be 5%, and that changes your economics.
Kim, would you like to answer this one?
Thank you. So the 10% discount relates to the current price that suppliers are charging for those clients within the Queensland sector at the moment, which is about 19 cents per kilowatt hour. So being able to generate the power at 4.4 cents allows us to sell it to the sites at a 10% discount. We do have some mine sites within Australia that are currently paying 30 cents per kilowatt hour as well, and depending if they're using diesel, that can be as high as 50 cents per kilowatt hour. So there are a lot of savings available, but our business model, by delivering the power post-meter, is actually our point of differentiation that allows us to achieve these really exceptional profit margins.
But you're saying in here that it's a recommended usage of 10%. What if they only use 5%?
That's fine. So we have negotiations with the customers, and that 10% is a number that we've established from already talking with customers. These customers, some of them are already on power supply. They're all looking to expand, so it's a bonus if the company is looking for more power. If they become too dependent on the solar and it's a cloudy day or you get a period of rain, they have to cut back production, and that's the last thing these guys want to do. So 10% is a rough number, and it's established within individual customers as to where they want to be. And the more central they are, the less likelihood that rain and cloud is an issue. On the coast, it becomes much higher risk.
Okay. I've got two questions. The whole idea is the mining company is not going to invest the capital. You're going to invest the capital and you're going to lock them up on a 10-year contract period to supply power. Am I right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. What would be when will you recover? Number first question I couldn't read from you. When will you be able to recover your capital? Because I've been involved with zinc for some time, and you find that based on the commodity prices, mines may not keep on mining for the 10 years. They may decide to, for whatever reason. For example, you're targeting 15 of the coal mines. If there has been a regulation passed and let us say 3 years down the road, all the coal mines have to stop, you will not be able to recover back your capital, would you?
Yeah, I'm going to let Kim answer this. They are a modular system, so if we did have to move them, it's possible, but Kim, please.
The modular systems cost around about $930,000 to install, and the payback period on those modules is 2 years. So with the power that is generated and the rate of 21 cents that we receive from revenue, they're fully paid back within 2 years.
Thank you.
Shall we continue with the presentation?
Thank you.
You'll have to excuse Lana, she has to keep going to the buttons.
Sorry, so as I was saying, in the environment space, you've heard our design is environmentally friendly. The materials we use, they're completely recyclable, and what we do is we support the mine in reducing its carbon footprint by generating renewable energy, green electricity. That's what it's all about. From a social perspective, what we do is we contribute to the community by engaging local labor for the on-site assembly and thereafter the maintenance of the solar farm. So to achieve these benefits across these three dimensions of corporate responsibility, what we have is a talented and committed management team. So as CEO and COO, Daniel Marcus, he heads a team. Having been general manager at Hancock Coal, Daniel has constructed several mine sites and has been pivotal in the power and water management infrastructure for mining operations. Kim's expertise in startups as well as supply chain operations for Asian suppliers is integral to our business because of our supply chain. Kim, as ex-CFO in international hospitality businesses as well as consultant to Deloitte, Kim will head our financial division as Chief Financial Officer. Our Chief Marketing Officer, Ben. Ben has over 10 years mining management experience in Australia, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea. So Ben's role is to tap into those mining relationships, which is the pillar to our success. Lastly, I complete the team as Chief Human Resources Officer, having delivered business solutions across Europe and Asia for 18 years in diverse sectors. The four of us, we're the team. So we're driving this business and we're in it for the long term. Latis is about our long-term commitment to deliver renewable energy to the mining industry to serve future generations. So on to finance.
Good. Before we go on to that, can I just, maybe it will be answered by your finance section, but generally the economics of solar doesn't work very well without government subsidy and the like. It's not in a lot of places in a lot of countries. And so what I would like to understand from you is what could go wrong that would cause the economics of this to start to become less profitable? What is the biggest weak spot that you see? Because if we're going to invest money in this, we need to know what that is.
Yeah, I might take that one on it, guys. The biggest weak spot, from my view, is that if we were to have do a massive amount of installations and people were to say we want 50% of our power supply from solar, that the transmitters aren't transmitting as much power. So the cost of power from the grid, the cost of transmission is factored into the electricity price, and that will bump up that electricity price. So we would then become the targets of that industry. It would make us more favourable insofar as our price would be cheaper, but we run the risk of being accused of bumping up the price of coal-fired electricity.
Yes, from the best of my knowledge, we have also the solar farm in Thailand. And they said that the cost to have the electricity from the solar farm is much higher than the normal. That's why our government have to subsidy if we want to have the more cleaner energy. How can you convince our Thai people that solar farm from Latis is just cheaper?
Kim, would you like to?
The key point of differentiation with the Latis Energy System is that our power is delivered post-meter. So as you can see in the slide up here, a significant cost is the transmission costs associated with supplying the power. We don't incur that cost because our cost is actually just through the power generation, which is at quite a comparable cost to how it is being generated now. But the transmission costs in using the grid add 12 cents to the cost that our clients are currently paying. Because we deliver it post-meter, direct to the client on site, we can avoid that transmission cost.
Also, the 4 cents that we get from the government, which is Australia's way of encouraging renewable, is going to change. But if we lose that 4 cents, it's still an extremely robust financial model. Australia's introduced a carbon tax, and there's going to be different forms of encouragement of solar power globally. We're not dependent on that government subsidy, and we're not dependent on the cost of transmission. So that insulates us from those risks.
Just something off the direction is that if you're interested in solar power, which obviously you are, what about the model of just setting up solar power farms that feed into the grid as opposed to this model? Is that much more competitive? Is there oversupply happening in that area? And is there a way that could, impact your business?
Yeah, so I'll answer that. We've got a slide. So basically, we first looked at this from a point of setting up solar farms on the land. But that doesn't resolve the issue around the water evaporation that the mine sites have, and we'd still have to pay that 12 cents per kilowatt hour transmission cost. So there are some competitors out there doing that, but we believe our competitive advantage is that we take care of a number of issues for the mine sites while retaining a significant profit for ourselves. So we provide the green power and power at a lower rate than a grid supply, but we also provide that water evaporation, which Daniel spoke about, not so far into the past, affected the production of mines.
One thing we haven't mentioned is that we know we visited China as a group last year, and spoke with suppliers. We went to a steel mill, and they would pull back on production, and we said, why in this market have you pulled back? And they said, technically, we've done everything we can to reduce carbon. The government set this level, and our only other way to reduce carbon is to pull back production. Australia has a 20% target, reduce 20% by 2020. If you talk to all mines, their plan is growth. They want to expand more. Let's burn more diesel to dig more coal. They're really struggling how they're going to meet this target. So part of our installation, part of our business strategy is we solve that problem for them.
Competitors are not going to stand by and let you move freely. You say you have patents, but you cannot patent a basic frame because anybody could adjust this and come out with their own. So you will have others moving in. You're presently negotiating with 15 mines or others. What is the status of these negotiations? Are you nearing signing agreements?
Lona, I'll let you talk about firstly the
IP part.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Well, firstly, we do based on our 3 elements. That we use, the layout and the configuration, in particular, how our system, the one out there, and the one that's demonstrated there, is how it responds to declining water levels, and then the ease of assembly of that system onto the raw water storage tanks. Now, our business, the IP patent, our business is not reliant on that. Okay, that actually gives us commercial leverage for contract negotiation. That our trade secret, which is represented in the value proposition that we propose to the client in our business model, which is the post-meter installation, and then the service-based contract, wherein we take the hassle and the stress out of them. That's what our business relies on entirely. So,
and with the second part of your question with existing customers, we have a pilot system out there. It's relatively small, but it's proving the energy delivery and it's proving the concept of the floating. It has been through a summer and seen some big storms and stood through it. That same miner would like a large system, and we've spoken to sister miners in the area, and there's keen interest. So part of us being here today is to get the equity to get those systems in and going.
So can we, just to understand, you understand your patents and your applications and all that better than I do. So the question I have is that if I need you to anticipate the way that a competitor with a lot of money and a lot of interest in maintaining their position in the solar business is going to sneak around and get competing with you, whether that's attaching their units to the land and showing that that's something different, or where are the areas that they could come in? Because that's what we're concerned about as an investor, is that we don't want to see, we want to think about where they can come in and how do we block that.
So you're asking what's the edge on our product that's going to stop the other competitors coming in?
Yes, that's part of it, which is your positive explanation of the patent and the like, but also I want to think of it from a negative perspective of where are you weak? Where is it that they could potentially come in? Because that's where we can lose money.
I'll let Ben answer this. Where it's weak is like if they don't have a dam, where obviously the customers we're targeting have those exact needs. And part of our business model and part of our R&D going forward is we're not just selling solar panels. We want to provide solutions that solve multiple problems.
How many mines don't have dams? Like what percent, roughly?
Yeah, I can't think of any in Australia. The only ones that do would be ones that are at the coast, and there's a large dam close by, but there's very few mines. In Australia, people live within 2k of the coast, and the mines are all inland, which is unfortunate because previously we all worked in mines.
The surface available in these dams, are they standard dams?
Yeah, as I said, I've built a number of mines. The last mine that I built was a 30 million tonne mine. It had 6 cells, 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre, so that's 600 hectares, so substantial. It depends on how much they want. If they want it all, we would love to do that, but it gets back to that percentage of their total power supply. It's up to them. It's a negotiation. What they want, that's no problem.
One question is, exactly what is the life of each of these panels, you know? Has it got a 10-year life period, or you need to do a lot of maintenance?
Yeah, these panels are the same ones. Australia has a large uptake of solar cells. I don't know the percentage of roofs, like suburban roofs, but it would be a number like 10 or 20%. I have 28 on my own roof, and they generate 3 times what my house uses. There's a number of suppliers, but it's an extremely competitive market, both from technology, the efficiency, and from the degradation. They all come with the same guarantee, roughly. They produce 90%, they guarantee 90% after 10 years, and they guarantee 80% after 25 years. The actual performance, according to the literature, is that it's not as much as that. And there was one cell recently that was tested that was built in the late 70s, and it was actually delivering more than its original quoted performance. But our model is based on that guarantee of the 90% after 10 years and the 80% after 25.
So I want to go back to my question, but I just had another thought, and that is, are there companies out there that are placing solar panels, let's say, on lakes, on the ocean, and from that perspective also, is there an opportunity, if you are becoming skilled at placing solar panels on water, and the need for solar power continues to grow, is that a growth area, or is there a reason why that doesn't work because of waves and things like that?
Okay, sorry. We have done extensive market research on the floating solar floating panel installations. There are international companies, but they are targeting basically lakes, hydroelectricity, and their market is not the market that we are targeting. With respect to technology in these companies, like the Sun Energy, which is an Australian company, there's a French company with the hydroleo technology. Every floating technology is different. There is no standard for it. Everyone's coming up with their designs and thinks it's better. What we have here, Latis being Dan's brainchild, he's come up with a design which is simple materials, easy to install, and it's flexible and modular as well to build. So that's where we have our edge. And with the mining relationships and the locking contracts, we want to get in there quick and fast, and we target the 100 megawatts. That's what we're doing.
We could do land-based installations cheaper. The reason why we float it is to give it the evaporation. We want it to be on the land where it connects to the business. We couldn't put one in the middle of the city. There's not the real estate, so we couldn't do it. So we have deliberately, the core to our business model is that we don't just put in solar cells. We put in solar cells where they offer numerous benefits. We don't do grid connect because it's hard to compete. We do it where the business model A makes money, and B offers multiple benefits. And we also target large customers. You know, if we can sell several megawatts to one customer rather than having many, many small customers, and that's what we aim to do.
Just as you talk, it made me think about, you were talking about other floating companies and technologies out there. And at first we're talking about competition coming from solar and power companies, but maybe the competition actually comes from these floating power generators that are around the world, within Australia, wherever. What is the threat? For instance, they're filing patents, they're trying to, what is the risk and the threat from them? Who is the number one market leader in floating panel?
Oh, Latis Energy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll answer this, and it goes back to your previous question about what are our threats. So right now, we've got a number of contracts signed, back to your original question, and they're targeted towards this, these centralised control of the major international miners. So that's how we're trying to set up some barriers. So through our relationships, we get in there, and these miners, so a couple of examples that I got up there, like to have global contracts. So as they set up, they pick a supplier, that'll be us. We'll prove ourselves on a number of sites. They'll pick it up and disseminate that through the rest of their group. That's going to have to be, so there are competition out there. They'll have to break that bond between us and the mining house to be able to get in. So that's our strategy. We need to get out there into a number of them quickly to set up some barriers.
You anticipate that the uptake rate for floating solar farms will be around 12 years. Is that in Australia?
No, that's the global. Our research has looked at a number of similar concepts and what the life of it was, and it was a normal distribution that had a 12-year life. The 5 years is the first half of that. And our business focus is to get in early, but we understand that it's an easy product to compete. But our whole strategy is to get those global supply contracts with the large miners. Once our focus initially is just getting installations in there, get these cash cows floating on the dams. Within, say, 3 years, we've set money aside to start R&D, to look at different markets and different technologies, but always focusing on not just supplying power. How can we supply solar that solves several problems?
I would like to know about maintenance, because efficiency will come from the maintenance. Even though you say it requires very low maintenance, but I do believe you are required to do this, especially on water. Moreover, the mine, I would expect that it will have some kind of dust around, so it might require more maintenance. So how are you going to do that?
This is the design. It's floating. There is a section between the cells where a maintenance craft comes along, and it's set up with pumps and stuff on it to do a quick clean of the screens. We're using local employment from the local areas to do this. All of the wiring harnesses are marine grades. Each one of the connections is filled with a marine paste before they go together. It's similar to the technology that's used on North Sea oil rigs. All of the things such as inverters are on the land. The pipes are actually pressurized. The ones at the bottom are the ballast ones. They've got about a 5 psi pressure on them. The ones at the top are full of air. They're the flotation ones, and they've got a pressure. So part of the pressure checks, it's just got a little thing like a tyre gauge. They just go along, test that. So that as soon as we get a pinhole in it, if we go and do our monthly pressure checks, we'll know straight away we've got a pinhole, and we'll know which pipe that it's in. Ben and my background is from maintenance on mines, and this is standard methods of checking poly pipes on mines.
Since we have a very short amount of time, one of the last questions from me will be just about the financial side. And the key thing that I'm concerned about is, where are your costs? Where could your costs be much higher than you anticipate? You've got 1 minute.
Certainly our costs are low. Significant portion. And the significant costs associated with our business is the installation. So, we have identified the costs of our panels from China. We actually have sourced 3 different factories for the supply of those. Exchange rates may come into being. We may have some price differentiation on the cost of installations. However, with a 2-year payback period, any increase in cost may just extend that by 6 months or 12 months, and we feel that we still have a very sufficient, strong investment opportunity for you.
I'm going to quickly finish. We're passionate about this. I'm not going to repeat the offer because time is short. We're in this for the long term. We see this as a business for our children. Finally, it's time.
Thank you.
Thank you. On that note, thank you very much, Team Latis Energy. So well done. Thank you. So we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be coming back with Team Hope Care from Portugal.
เอาละค่ะได้ฟังกันไปแล้วนะคะสำหรับทีมแรกค่ะที่ชื่อว่า Latis Energy นะคะจากทางด้าน Queensland University of Technology ค่ะของออสเตรเลียนั่นเองนะคะแล้วก็คุณผู้ชมคะตอนนี้ที่ยืนอยู่ข้างๆดิฉันนะคะเป็นคอมเมนเตอร์วันนี้ที่จะมาให้คอมเมนต์จากที่เมื่อกี้การแข่งขันไปเรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะกับทางด้านคุณแพรพิรมซึ่งเป็น Sustainability Manager ค่ะของ Sasin Center for Sustainability Management นั่นเองนะคะสวัสดีค่ะคุณแพรค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะคุณปริชาติ
เป็นยังไงกันบ้างคะสำหรับรอบนี้ทีมแรกประเดิมกันเลยนะคะรู้สึกว่าคณะกรรมการนี่ยิงคำถามกันเต็มที่เลยนะคะ
ค่ะทีมนี้แพรชอบเป็นพิเศษค่ะน่าสนใจมากเพราะว่าหลายประเด็นเหมือนกันนะคะอย่างแรกเลยก็คือมาจากออสเตรเลียซึ่งเป็นประเทศที่มีอุตสาหกรรมทางด้านถ่านหินเหมืองถ่านหินเยอะมากเต็มประเทศเลยนะคะแล้วทีมนี้เหมือนกับเขาคิดมาดีมากเลยค่ะว่าเขาจะช่วยแก้ปัญหาลดโลกร้อนยังไงบ้างแล้วก็มีแพทเทิร์นมีดีไซน์แพทเทิร์นหรือว่าสิทธิบัตรของตัวเองด้วยพัฒนาเทคโนโลยีมาอย่างน่าสนใจมากเลยค่ะเป็นพลังงานแสงอาทิตย์นะคะที่ลอยอยู่บนน้ำซึ่งอันนี้แพรไม่เคยเห็นมาก่อน
ใช่เพราะปกติเราจะเห็นเนี่ยมันจะอยู่บนพื้นดินนะคะ
ใช่ค่ะ
ทีนี้คณะกรรมการคำถามที่รู้สึกว่าเด็ดที่สุดแล้วก็เป็นคำถามที่ท้าทายมากที่สุดสำหรับทีมนี้เนี่ยคืออะไรคะ
แพรว่าที่ท้าทายมากที่สุดแพรชอบของคุณแอนดรูว์สโตลส์จากเมย์แบงค์คิมเองนะคะที่คุณแอนดรูว์ถามว่าจุดอ่อนของคุณเนี่ยคืออะไรคือคนอื่นเนี่ยเขาก็มีพลังงานแสงอาทิตย์เหมือนกันเขาจะเข้ามาแย่งตลาดของเราได้ไหมแต่ว่าทางทีมเนี่ยเขาก็ตอบดีเหมือนกันเขาบอกว่าบริษัทพวกนั้นเนี่ยไม่ได้โฟกัสมาทางด้านอุตสาหกรรมถ่านหินแต่เขาเนี่ยเขามีประสบการณ์ทางด้านอุตสาหกรรมนี้โดยเฉพาะเลยซึ่งอันนี้แปลว่าเป็นคำตอบที่ดีเหมือนกันค่ะ
ค่ะซึ่งส่วนใหญ่แล้วปกติก็จะเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของพลังงานไฟฟ้าพลังงานน้ำจากน้ำด้วยใช่ไหมคะ
ใช่ค่ะ
ทีนี้ต้องถามว่าแล้วในแง่ของการลงทุนความเป็นไปได้ของธุรกิจประเภทนี้ของเขาเนี่ยที่เป็นเอาแผงของที่เป็นโซลาร์เซลล์ไปลอยอยู่บนน้ำเนี่ยมันเป็นไปได้มากน้อยแค่ไหนเนี่ยคะ
อันนี้ก็ต้องดูกันต่อไปค่ะแต่ประทับใจมากเลยที่เขาคิดได้ว่าเอามาลอยน้ำแล้วก็การลอยน้ำเนี่ยเป็นการช่วยลดค่าใช้จ่ายทางด้านค่าน้ำด้วยเพราะว่าเหมืองถ่านหินเนี่ยใช้น้ำเป็นปริมาณมากๆเลยค่ะแล้วถ้าลดค่าใช้จ่ายอันนี้ได้เนี่ยก็จะช่วยธุรกิจของเหมืองถ่านหินได้มากเลยค่ะ
ค่ะซึ่งจริงๆเขาบอกว่าไม่ใช่ทำแค่ที่ประเทศเฉพาะประเทศออสเตรเลียเท่านั้นแต่ว่าจะทำแบบ global เลยเอาทั่วโลกเลยใช่ไหมคะ
ใช่ค่ะแล้วก็ target เขาเนี่ยกลุ่มเป้าหมายเขาเนี่ยก็เป็นเหมืองถ่านหินใหญ่ๆของในโลกซึ่งเป็นเช่น Rio Tinto หรือว่า BHP Billiton เนี่ยซึ่งเป็นยักษ์ใหญ่อยู่ทั่วโลกจริงๆค่ะไม่ใช่แค่ที่ออสเตรเลีย
ค่ะทีนี้ในแง่ของความยั่งยืนกันบ้างเพราะว่าดูเหมือนกับว่าในการแข่งขันครั้งนี้สำหรับปีนี้เนี่ยจะเน้นถึงเรื่องของความยั่งยืนของธุรกิจเป็นหลักกันด้วยนะคะ
Sustainability ค่ะ
ตรงนี้เนี่ยเป็นไปได้มากน้อยแค่ไหนในเรื่องของความยั่งยืนนะคะ
ส่วนตัวแปลว่าถ้าทางด้านเทคนิคของแสงอาทิตย์ลอยน้ำเนี่ยถ้ามันเวิร์กจริงๆเนี่ยแปลว่ามันยั่งยืนได้จริงค่ะแล้วตะกี้นี้ทางทีมเขาก็ได้อธิบายด้วยว่าในการซ่อมแซม maintenance เนี่ยเป็นอย่างไรบ้างซึ่งถ้าทางด้านเทคนิคเนี่ยทำได้หมดเนี่ยแปลว่าก็น่าจะดีเลยเพราะว่าการที่ใช้แสงอาทิตย์เนี่ยมันลดคาร์บอนได้เยอะมากซึ่งเป็นสิ่งที่ทุกคนต้องการค่ะทุกภาคฝ่าย
พลังงานแสงอาทิตย์ก็ไม่มีวันหมดด้วย
ใช่ค่ะ
ทีนี้อีกท่านหนึ่งคณะกรรมการอีกท่านหนึ่งก็มีการถามไปเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของปกติแล้วเนี่ยการลงทุนโซล่าร์ฟาร์มจะต้องได้รับการสนับสนุนจากภาครัฐด้วยนะคะตรงนี้ดูแล้วเนี่ยภาครัฐเนี่ยน่าจะให้การสนับสนุนมากน้อยแค่ไหนมันเป็นโครงการที่น่าสนใจเหมือนกันนะคะ
ใช่ค่ะเพราะว่าออสเตรเลียเนี่ยเขาเป็น leading เป็นประเทศที่ lead ที่นำคนอื่นเลยทางด้านโซล่าแล้วก็ทางด้านพลังงานหมุนเวียนซึ่งแปลว่าเขาก็มี subsidy ที่ดีอยู่แล้วด้วยนะคะเขาน่าจะสนับสนุนไปด้วยค่ะ
ค่ะมองแล้วในรอบนี้คณะกรรมการนี่เข้มข้นมากๆถามทุกคนกันเลย
แต่คำถามดีมากเลยค่ะ
ดูแล้วมีความน่าหนักใจมากน้อยแค่ไหนสำหรับทีมนี้คะ
เพราะว่าขอ2 ล้านเหรียญนี่ก็เยอะค่ะ
ค่ะเพราะฉะนั้นก็เดี๋ยวต้องรอลุ้นกันต่อไปสำหรับทีมนี้นะคะแล้วในเรื่องของคุณแพรได้มองเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของการลงทุนของเขาบ้างไหมคะ
การลงทุนใช่ไหมคะเพราะว่าอันนี้เป็นอะไรที่คนหลายๆฝ่ายสนใจอะค่ะก็น่าจะเป็นไปได้อย่างมาก
ค่ะมองแล้วคอนวินส์มากน้อย
ใช่เพราะว่าทีมเขามีประสบการณ์อย่างมากทางด้านทางการเงินแล้วก็เหมืองถ่านหินด้วยค่ะ
ค่ะเพราะฉะนั้นก็เดี๋ยวก็ต้องรอดูกันต่อไปเพราะว่าในแง่ของพื้นที่ที่ประเทศออสเตรเลียเนี่ยการรับแสงอาทิตย์ของเขาก็รับได้ค่อนข้างเยอะเหมือนกันนะคะ
ฝนไม่ตกเลยค่ะ
ค่ะทีนี้ในแง่ของคู่แข่งตอนนี้เขามีการพูดถึงไหมคะว่ามีรายอื่นๆที่ทำลักษณะคล้ายๆกับเขาเนี่ยค่ะ
เห็นสไลด์แรกๆเขาก็บอกว่ามีแต่ว่าเป็น high cost เป็นค่าใช้จ่ายสูงกว่าของเขาซึ่งอันนี้ก็ต้องดูในรายละเอียดนะคะว่าของเขานี่จะ compete ได้ยังไง
ค่ะเพราะอะไรทำไมถึงรายอื่นๆถึงดูค่าใช้จ่ายสูงของเขาทำไมเขาสามารถที่จะลดค่าใช้จ่ายลงมาได้อะคะ
อันนี้ไม่แน่ใจเหมือนกันแต่กำลัง ทายดูว่าอาจจะเป็นเพราะว่าเขามีแพทเทิร์นหรือว่ามีสิทธิบัตรเป็นของตัวเองหรือเปล่าแล้วก็
ใช่เพราะเมื่อกี้เขาก็บอก
ใช่ค่ะโดยรวมกับประสบการณ์ของเขาเนี่ยแล้วก็ถ้าเขาหา investor หรือนักลงทุนที่เข้าใจทุกอย่างทางด้านเทคนิคแล้วก็มั่นใจในตัวเขาเนี่ยแปลว่าก็น่าจะเป็นไปได้ค่ะ
ค่ะทีนี้ถ้าเกิดมาถามในแง่ของนอกจากในเรื่องของการลงทุนที่ดูเหมือนว่าต้นทุนของเขาจะถูกกว่ากันแล้วเนี่ยนะคะถ้ามาถามถึงเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของมองต่อไปในอนาคตเนี่ยนะคะการที่ทางด้านของตัวเขาเนี่ยเขามีการพูดถึงการต่อยอดต่อไปในอนาคตไหมคะสำหรับการลงทุนครั้งนี้ค่ะ
ต่อยอดในด้านการลงทุนนี่ยังไม่ทราบอะค่ะแต่ว่าคิดว่าถ้าเขาเน้นกลุ่มเป้าหมายเนี่ยก็น่าจะให้เป็นของเรื่องลูกค้าได้ด้วยค่ะ
ก็เดี๋ยวต้องรอลุ้นกันต่อไปนะคะเอาละค่ะคุณผู้ชมคะช่วงนี้เราไปติดตามกันต่ออีกทีมนะครับทีมนี้มาจากประเทศโปรตุเกสกันค่ะ